Get ready, get set, go. Fastest 2 hours in hockey right here. Real Kyper and Bourne show. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Derek Brandeo. Is it Jen Rolnick? Jake the Snake with us. We are live on SPORTSNET 590 The Fan. Where else are we live?
I never know those answers.
Vancouver.
I'd be lying to
Calgary.
you if I said.
See,
I literally,
honestly, it's the curveball of the national hour first.
Yeah.
okay.
I'm getting curveballs at me.
Listen, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
When do we go back?
Well, you'll be happy to know that if our beloved Toronto Blue, here's
No, don't tell me that if they get swept. I'm happy to know.
Okay.
Don't start like that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You wouldn't be happy to know that if the Toronto Blue Jays get swept, we'll be going back to 4-6 next Monday, probably. If they don't get swept, it kind of just gets pushed back day and day and day. And then if they come all the way back and win the World Series, we're staying for
All
2
right.
to 4 for the rest of our lives. So
All right.
there you
Good
go.
to know.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah.
it is Sportsnet 360.
Yeah.
We are live on 590 The Fan. We are streaming always on Sportsnet Plus, and of course Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. This hour, Real Kyper and Bourne, brought to you by Bet365. In a few minutes, we'll welcome in Renaud Lavoie from TVA.
Yeah.
Does a terrific job. We'll get into the Montreal Canadiens, who had a nice overtime win last night. Come from behind against Seattle Kraken.
Yeah. This
Demidov.
Montreal team.
Demidov looking real good. There's times when these rookies, they're take a night off,
Yeah.
but last night the skill was there.
You like them, eh?
I do like him, yeah. What's not to like? Go watch his game-tying goal with, 3 minutes to go, and you're like, what's not to like?
Extremely talented. This Montreal Canadiens team just has good vibes. You know, they really do. And I even think back to last year where they were pushing for playoffs and Suzuki scoring OT winners left and right, and they're coming back in games. This year already against Chicago, they score in the final minute. Last night, they come back, score in OT. They just seem to have a belief already in this Canadiens team. And playoffs, got to be fun. Got to be fun for
Now,
us.
did you have them going back out
No, I
a
didn't.
year, or you
Sam,
had back?
Sam
you,
did.
You've got them back out.
Yeah.
It's okay to have them out.
Here's what I'll say. And I don't want to give too much to the Montreal faithful here early in the season. But here's what I'll say about this core of young players, the Montreal Canadiens. It has started hushed tones conversations with my fellow Leaf fans.
Mm-hmm.
The tone of conversations around this team and around these vibes and around that cap sheet and around what they look like and how they're run. And there's some conversations going on about what the future.
Hey, they're pretty good. Eh?
That Demidov's pretty good. That Lane Hudson looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Montembeault didn't look great last night, but they, I watched a lot of that third period. I watched the highlights. Like, they just buzz around. They are a buzzing team right now. They're young.
Need to get bigger, though.
For sure.
Right.
But it's such a fun part of their development where it's, you've been a fan of a team that stunk for 4 or 5 years. I guess not last year, right, where they make the playoffs, but the years before that, they've been bad. But this is kind of the natural progression of cheering for it. You go through a crappy, long rebuild, and then it's like now you're at the most fun part. This is the second year of the Leafs when they were really fun, and you're like, oh, my God, it's all in front of us.
It's all gravy. Any good is gravy.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be a time where maybe they don't get it done. You start to hate them, and you grow, some gray hairs about it. But Montreal Canadian fans are in an absolute dream world right now with where they're at. It's just sweet for them. Sweet.
It is
Gravy.
peak fun.
Can we just, tip our hats to Montreal Canadiens once again doing whatever they do before a game
Oh, my God.
better
Oh,
than
yeah, for
anybody
Ken
else
Dryden.
out there. And the tribute to Ken Dryden and just the touch of, the mask,
Yeah.
right? Just the mask.
Yeah.
Just
Subtle but beautiful.
but so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
There's that great line, I think it was Michael Farber wrote, that was like only 2 places in the world properly understand ceremony, and it's the House of Windsor and the Montreal Canadiens. It's like, that's it.
Okay, last night was truly beautiful
I know
and
what
one
you're
of the
gonna
more
say.
incredible
Mostly
touches.
it's excessive.
That was honestly, I'm watching that, and Ken Dryden has strong Leafs ties as well, clearly, and he's been, one of our
Great
nation's
Canadian.
great, he's a really great Canadian. But watching that video, I almost like it. That's a tear up video. Like with the olays and the thing on the lighting right on the mask and on the banner. It's beautiful stuff. But a lot of time, like if you're watching this here, like this
just
is
the mask on the top of the net.
What else do you need?
It's truly beautiful. Yeah. But sometimes you can stretch them out a little bit.
Well, they can
stretch them out from here.
Were like really bad, and they're like, here's a 14-minute torch.
but this is not one of those things. They nailed it, and they usually do a phenomenal job. So good for them.
Not like Major League Baseball in their introductions, and it's like, okay, who are we missing in this introduction of the Toronto-Seattle? Like let's bring out the accounting department while you're at it, okay? Seriously.
Is the assistant?
Who couldn't we?
Very important, but.
They should introduce Blair and Barker, too.
Oh, my God.
And the post-game show host.
Start the game.
So true.
What?
No,
I even look, I sent you guys the picture. I looked at the team picture of the Jays winning the ALDS, and Doc's there. Jason Smith's in the picture.
Yes, that's
right.
Doctor.
They got him in there.
Did I get killed yesterday for my celebration over the top angle?
Are you asking because you know you did?
No,
or
I don't.
I didn't look at anything.
I didn't look at anything.
I think people just went par for the course.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
I got, what time is it right now? It's 2:06 Eastern.
Yeah.
I got 5 hours left to hope. I woke up today feeling good. It's not 3-0. It's 2-0. Win a baseball game tonight. Who knows? But that's pretty much where I'm at, boys.
I was very thankful last night that the Jays didn't play.
Yeah.
Wanted to watch the Leafs.
Just can't do the flipping.
I know. It was actually nice to concentrate on a hockey game.
But no, win tonight. Stranger things have happened. But, I'm not exactly the most hopeful. But I got my jersey on today. They sent an email out, Rogers,
can you show people the back of this beautiful jersey? Kip, look at this. This is like the, 2000s era batting jersey. Roy Halladay on the back.
My hairy neck.
That is a beautiful,
thank you,
beautiful jersey right
Thank
there.
you.
Nice job, Blue Jays.
They don't do that anymore.
No, this is a classic.
That's I like the double deep numbers.
Oh yeah. Oh totally.
Right?
Yeah.
The red and the blue look fantastic.
Looks great.
All right, so before we welcome in Renaud Lavoie, outside of that, anything in particular stand out for you guys last night?
Are we not allowed to talk about the Leafs in this hour?
Let's go. You want to talk about Nashville, Toronto? Go knock your socks off.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a pretty rough-looking Preds team last night. They looked pretty gassed. They got pretty bad goaltending. But I think a lot of the concerns people had about the Leafs, they might feel a little better today, like took care of business, even though they let the Preds back in it pretty good first period and they ran away with the thing. So that was encouraging, I thought.
I think that thing that stands out to me is the Kyper's alumni, the New York Rangers. So
That's a big story.
Is the first time in the history of the NHL that a team hasn't scored a goal in their first three home games?
First
is that
time
right?
in the history of the league, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just shocking.
It's unbelievable. We have a couple, I mean, we're probably going to get to Ren here. Maybe we can get to the clips later, but some of the post-game stuff was hilarious from them. Like, they're almost in disbelief. 100th year, it's, can you imagine what it cost to buy a ticket at Madison Square Garden?
Are you sure one in?
Like, think of the amount of money spent to go to those games in 3 combined games, and there's not one.
Do you have a
in
clip from that game?
I have 2 clips. Let's just listen to Mika Sabinajad about what happened in the first 3.
And he got robbed.
Clip one.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry, honestly. It's just I honestly don't know. It's we're just gonna keep going. Honestly, like the chances that we've been creating.
He said, "I don't know whether to laugh or cry."
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
It is one of those where, especially a guy like that's paid a lot of money to lead the team in that department. You can't change this subject fast enough for him.
And what's crazy, they're 2-3, which is not atrocious, and they're a +3 goal differential on the year. Like, they're not a bad hockey team.
Well, they've run it up away from home. I think, who did they beat? They beat somebody 6-1. Like, they've had 2 good wins away, but they stay home. They can't score. So,
yeah, that was yet another crazy outcome there.
But on the other hand, a good feeling for Skinner, who has not gotten off to a great start. And I'll make an argument that there's not a ton of great goalie stories out there right now.
No,
this might be the year not for the goalie.
from what I hear about Skinner, they're going to give him some run here, good, bad, or ugly. Let's find out what he is over the next month.
And apparently today at the Board of Governors meeting that's going on right now, Ann Lauer said that Tkachuk's getting a second opinion on his hand, which
we'll get into that. We'll get into that more on the Ottawa Senators.
Get a second one because you love the first
In the
one.
meantime, Renaud Lavoie will join us now. TVA Sports, Montreal Canadiens, one of the best insiders out there. Renaud, thanks for joining us, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good, to be honest with you. It's a great start of the hockey season around the league. There's some great games, so I'm just happy that hockey's back, and the excitement here in Montreal is through the roof right now. To be honest with you, Kyper.
All right, so we'll get into Lane and Demidov last night, and a few individuals, including the management team, of course. But overall, you talk to a lot of people about the Montreal Canadiens coming off last season where it was looking horrible for the first half, almost at Christmas, to a great run in the second half. Some going into this season, Renaud, have them in the playoffs. Some of them have them out. Like, where are you in terms of their progress this season? And if they do miss, would that be in your eyes considered a major setback?
Oh, big time. You know what? This is a team that is up and coming, to be honest with you. And what I see right now is, and I alluded this morning on another radio show here in Montreal, and I don't want to compare the two situations here, okay? But the Stanley Cup champions, the Panthers, I remember being with them for 3 rounds again last year, in April. And when I was talking to their best players, they were always telling me the same thing. It doesn't matter if I don't score for 2, 3, 4 games in the playoffs, because we're so deep that we all know that it's going to be someone else's turn one night to be the hero, right? Right now, if you look at the Montreal Canadiens four lines, you have obviously the power line with Nick Suzuki, Uri Slafkovsky, and Cole Caulfield. But the other three, they can play against anyone night after night, and they can score goals night after night. It's exactly what's happening right now since the start of the season. It's not because, Nick Suzuki is not scoring or didn't score a goal actually to start this season yet, that the Canadiens are in trouble or looking for his scoring touch to be back. Not at all, because this team is deeper when you look at the forwards, deeper if you look at the D-core. So if they stay healthy, I mean, this team is going to be really dangerous, I believe. Already you see around the league, and you alluded a little bit before, there's some key players right now that are going down with injuries. So I think that's a big advantage for the Montreal Canadiens.
Renaud, we saw contract extensions for Gorton and for Hughes, and why not? This is a team that was successfully rebuilt and back into a competitive hockey club now, which is so much fun when your team sort of turns that corner. You look at their cap sheet, and Laine comes off it after this year. Gallagher and Anderson have a couple years left. Like, there's real potential for them to have a really clean-looking sheet with the core locked up. Like, what's the next step for them to go from, we're a wild card team, but like this is one of the, contenders?
Yeah, well, first of all, the start of Mike Madison right now with the Montreal Canadiens, now that he's playing with Noah Dobson, that deep pairing is really, really good. So there's less pressure on Mike, and he's playing really good hockey right now. So I think you can see an extension for him. I don't believe we're going to see an extension for Patrick Laine right now, obviously. So what the team is looking at right now is to find that that second line centerman that they hope to get at one point. But obviously they're not the only one. What's out there, and it's been mentioned by a few people already, is I think Montreal and probably a couple of other teams are waiting to see what's going to happen with Sidney Crosby. If at one point Sidney wants to leave the Pittsburgh Penguins and just say, you know what, I want to go win another Stanley Cup, I think the Montreal Canadiens, they need to be ready for it. So they need some cap space. They need to make sure that, they're not going to be handcuffed. So we'll see. I'm mentioning Sidney Crosby. Can it be another really good centerman? So they're going to be patient because right now they're in no rush to make that move, But they, at the same time, there's a reason why they traded Carey Price contract before the start of training camp. It was important for them to create some cap space, and if there's a team who's ready to do real business, I think the Canadiens will have a really open-minded, and that's about it. They're looking for that second line centerman right now. And if it's Sidney Crosby, I'm pretty sure that my friend Nick Suzuki is going to be ready to be that second line forward and centerman, I should say, and Sydney the first line centerman of that. But we'll cross that bridge when we'll be close to the river.
Woo.
Renee, you don't know our show. We cross that bridge now,
No.
my friend. We cross it now.
Why not?
So, all right. You brought it up. We didn't. So I want to take one more. I want to go one step ahead and pick
You
your
want to
brain
take
a little
another
bit.
swing at it?
Yeah, in a different angle. Okay, so let's hypothetically say that Sid's ready for this and he has picked the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
What do you envision to get the deal done?
That's the probably the $1 million question, because I'm pretty sure that Sydney, if, and it's a big if, right? What are the odds that it's going to happen? Is it 30%? Is it lower than that? Is it I don't know. Okay, but if it happens, and he chooses the Montreal Canadiens, the Pittsburgh Penguins don't have much leverage if he's saying it's Montreal or I'm not going anywhere, or But knowing the Canes management, obviously you can talk about first round pick here, but after that they'll probably look, at the Montreal Canadiens decor. Can it be a David Reinbacher, who's he's a right shot defenseman? Can it be someone else on the roster, an Oliver Kapanen, who's right now trying to understand the league, but he's playing way better right now than he did a year ago when he arrived in the NHL. So I believe you have to throw picks. You have to throw probably a couple of really good young players, but I'll say that's about it, because you're not gonna jeopardize the future of your franchise by giving 5 pieces for a player that's going to finish his contract probably in Montreal or wherever he wants to play. If he still wants to play with Pittsburgh, obviously there'll be no trade. But can it be Colorado? Can it be LA? We don't know. But right now, I believe that what the Pittsburgh Penguins are looking for is youth and picks. They're in a rebuild mode, so we'll see how things are going to evolve. But don't expect a Juraj Slavkovsky to be traded, or Cole Caulfield to be traded, or a Caden Gooley to be traded. I don't believe that's going to be. I don't believe it's going to happen. I think the Pittsburgh Penguins will be a little bit more handcuffed.
Yeah, there's lots of reasons to be excited. You want to keep those young players in the mix, obviously. One of them last night, Demidov, scores that fantastic goal. I don't know if you saw the video before the game of St. Louis spending time showing him some stuff in the neutral zone. Really
I was there.
Getting the most out of this kid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in a great spot for his development. And what do you expect him to be his first full season in the NHL?
That's a great question, because if you look at the over-under before the start of the season, the over-under was at 62.5 points this season. And I said, because that's Malkin Celebrini, Macklin Celebrini number of points last year, 63 in 70 games. But the thing is, Macklin played 20 minutes per game. And we all know that Ivan Demidov is not going to play 20 minutes per game. He's playing around 13 minutes, 14 minutes per game. But last night was a big eye opener. in a way for a lot of people. I'm pretty sure for himself too, because since the start of the season, he was struggling a little bit to get, in the areas where he will be able to, getting good shots and taking advantage of the other team's flaws. And working with Martin St. Louis obviously is helping because Martin's been through every situation in this league. So, no, it was fun to see because the thing is, he's playing on the second power play right now too, so it's tough for him to be involved in the real offensive situations. And when you look at the goal that he scored last night, it was at the end of a power play. That's why Patrick Laine was still on the ice with him. So I think he took advantage of the situation in front of him. Can he get to 63 points? I think it's going to be a little tough for him, but he's so skilled. And if he starts having games like he had last night, we can say sky's the limit in a way, and he'll force Martin St. Louis to make some changes with his power play and maybe use him on the first power play unit.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching and listening to Renaud Lavoie from TVA Sports. Does a good job also with the NHL Network as a correspondent. So going back to the Hudson contract, Renaud,
yeah,
and just in terms of some people feeling maybe he left money on the table, gave too long. Yeah. If we go back to the Connor McDavid, no raise, discount, call it whatever you want. You think it has a a ripple effect on other guys moving forward? Is it a one-off? Is there something to be said where a guy maybe leaves a little bit on the table for goodwill?
I mean, the reality is when you're an American or European and you're playing in Canada, you can take advantage of the RCA. What's the RCA? You can put 50% of your full salary, put it in a fund, and you're getting back that fund at the end of your career when you're retiring and you're going back home at 20% taxes. So the reality is that contract that Lane Hudson signed at the end will be worth $80 million US over 8 years. That's the reality tax-wise here in Montreal right now, and in Ontario or in the rest of Canada. Teams, I'm pretty sure, are taking advantage of that. So I'm not sure that he's leaving money on the table, but one thing that he's helping his team to make sure that his cap hit is not going to be as high as other players around the league, because other teams cannot take advantage of the RCA. That being said, I think what Connor McDavid did, I'm not going to say it's a one-off. We're going to see it again, but I'm not sure it's going to start a trend, really, to be honest with you. I mean, there is some players, and if we can go back to Sidney Crosby, left some money on the table. Patrice Bergeron left a lot of money on the table, lots of money on the table to make sure that the Bruins year after year will be, on top of their game. So some players, wherever they are in their career, leaders probably are ready to rock and roll. But at the same time, if you look at what Connor McDavid did, first of all, I salute him for what he did. But the reason he didn't want to sign a long-term contract is he didn't know what the Oilers would look like in 3 years. And he wanted to win right now. So, perfect. But I understand that if you're saying that, you have to be ready to put to leave some money on the table. Because if you're saying to management, I want 17 million per, and I still want to win a Stanley Cup here, management is going to look at you and say, oh, we can give you that 17 millions right now for the next 8 years if you want, but don't expect any championship because we're not going to have any money left. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the reality. So I think what Connor did is what I said is what I said, and I'm ready, to show the rest of the world that I believe in what I said, and I believe in the Edmonton Oilers, and let's see what's next. So now the pressure is on management to make sure that at the trading deadline or when the UFA market's going to start July 1st, that they'll be ready to swing and swing hard to make sure that there'll be a Stanley Cup in Edmonton. If it's not this year, it's going to be next year or the year after, but it needs to come sooner because if it's not happening, I mean, obviously we know that the writing is on the wall.
Mm-hmm. So, Ren, looking at the Canadiens this year, is there any other stories that stand out to you? Because I'm looking at Bolduc being such a great start. I'm looking at
Wow.
Laine playing 14 minutes and not
12.
Is that what he was the other day? Yeah, like, kind of where he's at. Is there anything that you're like, all right, this is a story for the Canadiens?
Youth is a big difference, but the fact you mentioned, Zach Bolduc, the way he's playing, it's that kid. Like he's a special kid. Why first of all, remember Stéphane Richer. So he's got a little bit of his body, his weight. And the way he's skating, I see some Stefan in him, and he's got a lot of FU in his game too, which is great. Like he likes to be under, the other team's skin, not by talking, just that heavy hit that's gonna hurt and that's gonna piss off a little some people on the ice, and he's not gonna look at you, and you're gonna cross check him, and he's gonna go back to the bench, and the first thing you know, the Canadiens will have a power play. So that's a great addition. Noah Dobson, the way he's playing defensively, it shows that he played in a really good defensive system, in Long Island. So there's no worries there. I mean, the overall story is really good right now. Is there one thing that we need to pinpoint? Not really right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Everyone's healthy, which is key. Knock on wood. Hopefully, it's going to stay that way. But this team is coming, and this team, when I'm looking at them, I see the Blackhawks. I see the Pittsburgh Penguins back in the days where that young core was coming. They were hungry as hell, and they want to win. They don't want to leave anything on the ice. It's unbelievable to watch. It's 3 years ago, I was watching the worst hockey I ever saw in Montreal. It was a disgrace. And 3 years after, we're here. Wow, management did a job that's needs to be a salute here.
Just before I let you go, you brought up the name Patrick Laine, and I mentioned that I didn't mention it, but no goals in 4 games, and averaging 12 minutes, a little bit more than 12 minutes. Like, what happened to this guy, Ren?
So, first of all, kudos to him, to be honest, because right now is the way he's playing, his attitude is A++. I'm between the bench every Saturday night. I was in Chicago last year, the year before, when he was coming to the bench and he had a bad shift, like he was hard on himself, banging his stick. I mean, it was, now he's coming back to the bench. He's doing what he needs to do. He's not swearing. He's coming back. He's doing his job. He's being a pro. Okay. And I mean, what's going on right now with him is he cannot play on a second line. The reason why, skating wise, he's not there. Okay. And that's why they made that change. They started him in preseason on the second line. It didn't work out. There's no other way to put it. Now he's on the fourth line, and he's being used a little more as a DH. If I can use that term.
Yeah.
He's really, really good on that second power play unit. That shot is lethal. You need a shot like that. And he was one of the reasons last year the Canadiens made the playoffs when he came back in December. I mean, that guy really, really helped that team. So right now, to be honest with you, Nick, I don't have anything bad to say about that guy.
Can he get back that status as a super sniper, or is that over?
I believe, sadly, if he's not playing on the first power play unit, it's going to be tough for him to score 25, 30 goals in the NHL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tough spot, certainly for anyone. Are you done on Line A? Or?
I'm done, yeah.
Okay, and one more for me. Just early returns on Noah Dobson. He's playing 22 per night. That's shows some confidence in him. How's he look?
You know what? Obviously, a little bit like Zach Bolduc when he started in preseason, you were not really seeing their game. I'm not saying they were shy, but they didn't have the same ice time too. Especially Zach was playing maybe 13 minutes. Now he's playing way more. And on Noah, he got injured, groin injury, so he had to miss some time a little bit. But now you see, first of all, the skating of this man. He's a huge body. He's got a great shot, great vision. I mean, there's just some good things to say. It's early in the season right now, and I know the Canadiens are gonna let him like play your game. We're not gonna be in your face. If we see some bad, not bad tendencies, but tendencies that we don't like, we're gonna correct it. But all the one-off, that one-off mistake, they're not gonna be in his face saying you can't do that anymore. They're gonna let him adapt to Montreal, and what they want to see right now is him, because he was really in a defensive system. They want to see him, force a play in the offensive zone. They want to see him around the other team net. They want to see him involved offensively, but they're going to give him some time. But because they understand that he was playing since the start of his career in a defensive system. Now here in Montreal, you have some leverage as a defenseman, and the day that he's going to use that leverage, I think we're going to be really happy to see the way he's perform, the way he's going to play offensively, I should say.
Renaud, I gotta ask you around the league quickly because you're one of the best insiders. What are you hearing on Carter Hart and Vegas?
Yeah, you know what? I've been asked the same question today. This is going to be a tough spot, because you look at Carolina, what happened, and the way some season ticket holders reacted to the situation. I know in Vegas, probably a different environment here, so we'll see how things are going to evolve. But Carter Hart is a really good goaltender, okay, but I wonder if a team's going to really take that chance. And if they do, what's next? Because he didn't play for such a long time, too. It's not an easy situation. Can someone get, a second chance in life? I believe so. But at the same time, what happened in London a few years ago is unacceptable. And so it's a really, really, really tough spot. I couldn't imagine him playing for a Canadian team, to be honest with you. But maybe he can hide somewhere in the U.S., and I don't know if Vegas is going to be that place.
Renaud, always great to have you on our show. Great insight on not only the Montreal Canadiens, but everything that happens daily, man. Really appreciate your time.
It's fun to talk to you guys, and enjoy the rest of the week.
Thanks, Ren. Appreciate it.
Take care.
TVA's Renaud Lavoie.
Good stuff, boys.
Yeah, two things from that.
Okay.
The first is the Sid thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys treated yourself to any of the Ducks and Penguins last night, but I was up after Leafs talk. I watched.
Sounds like a foul match.
I watched a significant portion of that hockey game because, I always want to watch Sid and see what Ducks are looking like.
Mm-hmm.
Penguins rake.
Yeah, they're trying to read.
They really are bad.
And
They're bad.
They are the only team, like, right out of the gate,
truly
trying to reek.
But, they were bad last year, right? But they kind of had a couple moments where they were flirting with it and they were half decent. I remember when Sid was really hot. But this year, they're just not ever going to be any good at all. And I just can't imagine just Sid wasting away there.
Can I tell you a tough reality that's part of my theory here is, so Dubas wants them to be bad, wants to get McKenna, rebuild, do the whole thing. And everyone always said, you can't rebuild while you have Crosby, Letang, Malkin, these guys, Carlson, whatever.
Yeah.
However, I don't think guys like Malkin, Letang, Carlson are that great right now. And so it's not hurting their tank job to have them on the team.
Yeah.
Crosby's the only one swimming again. I know Malkin's got some points this year and all that.
Yeah.
But
You're going to take another crack at having them move. And it's not going to happen now.
Year. Well, no, but towards the deadline.
Correct.
Could be all of them.
Correct.
Your Justin Brazeau slander.
Do you want to take another crack? Do you want to go? They're missing Barkov. Do you want to go down there for Whatever. I am just throwing that out there.
I know. I
That's
hear you
your
doing
only
that a lot.
shot. But to your point, like we all know where Pittsburgh wants to head. The question is how hard are the players going to fight that?
Mhm.
And how do you fight it? I don't know, win more games.
But like Kip, wouldn't you, and I know if I were on that team, and I understand that there's family issues and your kids are in school, it's not as easy as this. But if I were a player on that team and I knew what they were trying to do, I'd be the first guy with my hand up being like, trade me first.
Hey, can I go somewhere fun?
Yeah, like I'd like to try to win games.
I'm watching games at
See-
the Bell Center. I wouldn't mind
see-
playing there.
I can't get my stats
know.
up when I'm in the D zone all night.
And that mindset or that philosophy that you just mentioned, Sid had that with Kyle Dubas and the Fenway group just before he re-upped 2 more years. Like,
He wanted to get traded?
no, he re-signed recently.
Oh, yeah.
So that conversation that you just had with us 2 seconds ago was the same one we told him to have with Kyle Dubas and the Fenway group before
Signing.
you re-upped,
Mhm.
and you chose to re-up. So where's anyone's surprise face?
Although it's a little
Today.
bit like the McDavid contract, right? Like it was like I don't know, let's just do 2 years, sort this out in a sec. It feels a bit like a punt.
Didn't you, I don't know what your read on it, Kip, was, but more of a, I don't want to say it, the R word, the retirement contract, where he signs the last, he had the 1 year and then he has the 2 more and then it's kind of the end for him there. Like, and then it just plays out his days there. And I don't know. It just felt like there's never been a conversation about him wanting to leave until the preseason this year when Brisson said that thing to Pierre LeBrun about how, they were thinking about it for the first time ever or whatever. So I don't know.
I'm not a fan of punting or kicking the can down the road.
No.
I'm not.
Nor should you be.
Sid's wasting, like, still peak hockey years right now, where he's
He had
help
90
at a
points last year.
very
2 helpers last night. Look good.
high point of his game still. His mind and body are as good as ever.
Mhm.
You're just wasting time.
The other part of that is like we have audio, 2 separate clips I can think of. One where he's delivering tickets to the fan,
Yep.
where he says, I'm not a rebuild kind of guy.
Mhm.
This is, we're trying to win. And one in like an actual interview where he said that that's never been my mindset. I'm not playing to lose games.
But we saw that before he re-upped his 2 years.
That
We
he would
all
be
saw
better.
that. We all saw the direction that they were
So
going.
what is your point with this? That he didn't think
I-
they'd be
I
rebuilding?
don't-
Was
I
Was
don't
he,
know.
was he
I-
misled?
I don't know. No, he was not misled. He just he had a chance to make a hard decision and he chose not to. And the tea leaves were all set up for him to watch his team stink and put him in a situation of babysitting,
Yeah.
and he still chose to stay. So I would love to see him leave, but I'm not sure if he will, because he didn't leave before he signed the 2-year deal, knowing what was coming.
Yeah.
He's kind of got them in a tough spot because they're like, we can't choose to trade you. You have to tell everyone you want to go. We can't do it. So he kind of has to take the initiative.
And Renaud's right. If he wants to make it happen with Montreal, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Pittsburgh to make it happen.
But like, is Montreal Crosby away from winning the cup? I don't see that. Like, they're good, but I don't have him a Crosby
So
short
what?
of the
So
cup.
he gets them to a conference final or Stanley Cup final.
Well, because I could see him being like, all right, I'd like to go be Brad Marchand, and maybe literally Brad Marchand in Florida, according to you. But like, don't you see him more likely to go to a team that's
Okay, Colorado.
Vegas or Dallas or Colorado or
I mean, I think there's 2 different conversations here. There's one where he's won his cups and he's a guy, a hockey historian, cares about legacy, wants to play for the Montreal Canadiens, the connection with
Yeah.
his dad. It was his childhood
for
team.
sure. So that
And
would be
if
it.
that
then.
if that's the conversation, but I totally
the
agree with
jersey
you.
has to mean something to him.
But I totally agree. Like, they're good and they're fun and they're exciting, but like, I don't think they're going to win the cup with Sid as the first line center.
And I don't think so.
I would go as far as to say they're not.
Yeah.
So 2 different conversations. Anyways, good stuff, boys.
All right, we'll take a quick break.
You got it.
All right, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll catch up on the injury scene. They're piling up, boys. And some big names right now are starting to drop. Does this come down to a shortened training camp, not enough games? Let's get into that when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back to the program. Reminder, Real Kyper and Bourne being brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. We just left the break just prior, talking about injuries and some big names out. The latest one, of course, Brady Tkachuk, who is in New York getting a second opinion, which means, like, I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to play one on TV, but usually a second opinion is because you didn't really like the first one.
Right.
And the first one probably said, you should have surgery.
Yeah.
Bo
You're
Bichette
like,
still
that's
isn't
not
playing.
the answer I wanted to hear.
Bo Bichette still isn't playing after getting a second opinion on his knee. So
Yeah, second
Not good.
opinions. By the way, don't blame the second opinion.
yeah, it's not the second opinion. So
You face a hard reality.
Yes, correct.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one. They get Batherson back. Ottawa gets him back. He hasn't been playing, so that helps. They have a pretty good surrounding team. They got to hang on for a little bit here and get some saves from old Linus. By the way, Sabrango got claimed by the Florida Panthers because Kulikov is hurt now, out 5 months.
So he had surgery.
he did.
Must have, yeah.
Yeah. Maurice said today, told reporters today that he did have surgery on an upper body injury.
So no Kulikov, no Barkov, no Tkachuk. Can they
3
lose
and
a
1.
couple of games?
3 and 1.
Like,
It's just a system. It's just a machine.
it's the old Pittsburgh calls up Mark Donk and Buzz
It's just-
Flibbit,
it
and
just-
they have 60 points.
It just doesn't matter. You just plug them in there and they turn into mean, great players.
Yeah.
It just they
The
put on
So
that
whether or
sweater.
not they have a training camp that lasts 3 weeks or 6 weeks, these injuries are going to happen, or do you think there's any correlation?
I got no correlation at all. The camp wasn't shorter this year. It was just
Oh, the number of games were shorter, I
is it?
think.
Yeah, either way, they just big guys running into each other. It
I
happens.
don't
I
know.
Yeah,
think.
fast game played on knives.
Yeah.
It's just-
Barkov came back. I think that was his first day on the ice with the team.
Is that right? Yeah. So I
think
did.
so.
The Florida Panthers veteran players actually came back a week later than the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So they justifiably gave them extra time after yet another long season before coming back. Do you think that was his first day back? Yeah.
I do believe that they all had extra time,
Yeah.
far beyond a hard official start.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean,
Makes
why-
sense.
Why
no,
wouldn't you? Yeah.
Absolutely. But
First
just
day on the ice.
unlucky.
Yeah, first day on the ice. It's tough.
That
tough.
is. So I don't know. Let's see if Florida can hang on. Doesn't seem like
it's
a problem
it
for them.
is a loss to Ottawa, losing that guy who could play 5 different ways and help you win.
But I still want him to turn. He's like the only guy in the league. I want him to turn down the temperature. Everything is not a personal slight when I watch him play. Like sometimes guys body check you because you had the hockey puck, not because you're a bad guy.
Yeah, not
you
good.
know?
It's not always a slight on your
Yeah.
personality.
Just so fired up at everyone all the time. But that's unrelated to his injury.
Tonight on Wednesday Night Hockey, it's Ottawa in Buffalo. Talk about must-win games yesterday for the Leafs against the Preds. Sabres got to get one here.
I actually think Ottawa's in tonight.
They gotta get one.
Yeah.
Yes, totally agree. They don't have their captain. Like Buffalo 0-3. You go 0-4. It's like the season feels over.
I said that if I were on Pittsburgh, I'd be the first guy with my hand up. These guys on Buffalo, like when you're a good team, people look at the Edmonton Oilers and go, "Get me to Edmonton. I want to play for Edmonton." But when you're a bad team, good players want to leave. And I'm not saying that anyone wants to leave now, but if you're
So
garbage,
there was
it'll happen.
lots of talk about Alex Tuck, who I really like a lot.
Love talk.
Okay. He's in his last year, if I'm not mistaken. Why would you sign this guy now, knowing how bad
Because
your
he's
team
from
is?
Buffalo, you need players, man. You need players. You can't not keep good players when you're Buffalo. Keep them all.
Okay, that's from the Buffalo side. If you're Alex, why would you
bye.
want to stay?
No.
Because you're from Buffalo?
Yeah, I really like the wings at Anchor Bar.
Yeah.
That ranch dressing is to die
Can't
for.
beat it.
Big Lenovo guy over here. Hey, maybe a Maple Leaf option right there for a top 6 guy.
I mean, he is.
Okay, you got to stop
perfect
that.
fit.
Well,
There-
listen, they've been
there-
searching for a top 6 guys in the last year of his
He's the
contract. They
perfect fit for
stink.
them.
He's perfect.
I don't want to.
Big fast.
We got a Leaf Hour coming up,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm gonna blow. I gotta blow your theory out of the water here
Okay.
on the national
That's fine.
show. It's
Yeah.
like,
You wouldn't be the first time.
where is a top player gonna come from for your Leafs?
Well, I mean,
Well, if you're Buffalo, you don't
What are
care.
you trading Buffalo?
I don't know. Whatever you want.
Okay,
Ben Danford.
just end with I don't know.
I don't listen. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
'cause
not
that's the answer.
I listen. I watched Kevin Adams on the phone with somebody. Maybe you could get him out of there for less than you think. I don't know. I don't know, boys. I don't know.
Process seems subpar.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
on
no
that
amateur
hold
scout,
on.
but-
On that Kevin Adams thing, I had heard something on the radio or through a friend. I forget where I heard it, that Buffalo had wanted to make a move, right? And they were okay with moving off Cousins or even wanted to. But everyone who they could potentially get as a return had Buffalo on their no-trade list. Norris was the guy who didn't have Buffalo on the no-trade list, and that's why he was so appealing.
Hey,
As an option.
listen, that your job is not to accept that, but go and change someone's mind.
Yeah,
That's
Dylan
your
Cousins'
job.
mind. That's who you
Yeah.
change.
I'm sorry, but you convince people that things are different and you get them to lift Buffalo off their list.
Mm-hmm.
That was the answer,
Good luck.
right? And we just had Renaud talking about Montreal in dire need of a second-line centerman. What would they have given up
For Dylan Cousins.
for Dylan Cousins
Yeah.
at the draft?
I saw a story on SportsNet's website today about the Olympic ice in.
Okay, I
Italy.
didn't read it. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's NHL players may face untested Olympic ice in Milan due to construction delays.
So we're going to
Just find
send
out that the Olympics were happening?
Hey, we're sending
There's not many that good
we're
players.
sending $2 billion. We're sending $2 billion, maybe more, in contracts to ice that we have no idea on.
Connor
I
McDavid's
was gonna-
knees are looking at some rut in Italy right now.
I was just
stare
saying,
in the
like,
face.
Bowman's thrilled about this.
Yeah.
Jeff Jackson's like, yeah, go ahead, Connor.
Yeah.
We're thrilled to send you over to untested ice.
Yeah.
Could be curling ice for all they know.
Have you ever played on new ice? Like,
Yes.
It comes up in shards at times. Like, it's just unpredictable. You don't know where there's like bubbling. It's garbage.
Yeah, I'd be a little concerned right now.
I'd
Franchise players.
Well, I just think they just need to fix this. This whole story.
Buddy, you're
It's-
giving me like bewitched. You're
it's-
just waving your hands. and
October 15th.
Wiggling your nose.
We're sending our guys in 5 months. Get the ice in.
With NHL players preparing to return to the Olympics for the first time in more than a decade, construction on the main hockey arena for the Milan Cortina Games is going down to the wire.
Throw bodies at the problem.
Local organizations
down to the wire.
yeah.
What,
Yeah.
what, like,
5
what does
months
that
out.
mean?
Throw bodies at the problem.
Like the night before,
Thousands of
somebody's
them
out there
working
with the
at once.
hose. The night before.
The issue raises the prospect that there might not be a game held in the main arena until the puck is dropped for the
Oh
women's
my God.
preliminary
No,
round
no.
on the Olympics on February 5th. One day before the opening ceremony.
Forget the Oilers.
Can
Gary
we-
Bettman's going, we're not
Hey,
doing that.
can we send like our finest Gourds and Steves from
Yes.
here over there to
just
figure
a
this
whole
out?
pack of gourds to
Send
go
the
play a
Gourds.
match?
No, to fix the ice. The Gourds can do it.
I think the gourds fix the ice, then play a few games on it.
Correct.
Bury that loony like a good gourd would.
This
Send in the
could be a
Gourds.
This could be ball hockey for the gold medal. Bring your running shoes, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Brings in a whole
Or-
bunch of
or
other countries if we
galoshes.
go ball hockey.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
All right. That's 1 hour down, 1 to go here. Renaud Lavoie, thank you very much for joining us. TVA Sports and NHL Network. Up next, Real Kyper and Bourne Leaf Hour edition. We'll also welcome in Luke Fox for the first time, I think, this year.
Got it.
Leafs with a big win
Thank
against
God.
the Nashville Predators. We'll get into that and more. Don't go away. More Real Kyper and Bourne after these words. Welcome into the Leaf Hour edition of the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. We are live on SportsNet 360, SportsNet 590, The Fan in Toronto, and streaming always on SportsNet Plus. And if you miss our show, you can always catch it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube, where we like an occasional thumbs up. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Derek Brandeo, and Jake the Snake Schultz. This hour, Real Kyper and Bourne, brought to you by Bet365. Matthew scores twice, and Sammy gets his all-important must-win game against the Nashville Predators last night.
Yep.
It's all you were looking for.
Yeah. I was the result I was hoping for, anticipating, and asking for, and it happened.
Not the best night from the Preds. Not to take away from the Leafs, who were a pretty good team in general, I think, but Preds didn't have their best stuff in a back-to-back. UC Annanen, not very good. I know. They hit a bunch of posts. Robertson ripping off the post. Nylander hit a post. It could have been more.
Leafs out to the 2-0 lead, and then it vanished like in a snap. A little concerned on that, or did that bother you that much? Because I really thought there was a small window where the Preds could have actually gone up 3-2. I think there was a power play that they had a couple of grade A chances. And I just wonder if that philosophy or that small window was a concern for you at all.
It is. Like they as they always say, they didn't play 60 minutes or whatever, but they're the better team for 50 minutes pretty handily. Not going to say you enjoy being bad for 10 of them, but.
Okay, let's get Craig Berube's overview of the game last night.
Yeah, I thought we came out and played I thought a good first period, doing things right and got the lead. I thought the second period, obviously when a team is down, they come out, they're a little more intense. And I called the timeout, just our intensity level wasn't where it needed to be. But the guys responded, so it was good. But overall, it was a pretty good game. A lot of good things, back-to-back games. So, but there was a lot of good to like in the game, and there's obviously stuff that we got to be better at. We got to keep trying to improve and improve in some areas. But pretty happy with the game.
You have an overall takeaway?
I really liked this timeout, and I thought it was really necessary, and I thought he gave it to them on the bench. I thought it was a good move.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. And I like to see that proactive. You don't need to save that timeout for the final 30 seconds. It's kind of slipping away. Time to get your heads back in it. That was really good. By and large, I think the Leafs, there's a lot of encouraging things here. I know it's very early, but I know Primo's numbers didn't end up great, but it's his first game of the year. He didn't get a preseason game, anything. He was fine enough. Cowan in his second game still looked pretty good to me. And then I wrote an article today. It's up on sportsnet.ca. We had the conversation yesterday about where the offense is going to come from. I think there's some hope in some of these guys. Like, I know Michelli has 1 point, but I've liked him. Like, he set up Nylander, who hit the post. He hit up Benoit, who missed the net.
It's hard not to notice how skilled he is.
Yeah, he can make plays.
He can make plays for sure, and there's risk reward to some of those plays. They can be a turnover as well. But you see how he once upon a time ended up with 50, 60 points in Utah.
I am worried that because the offense hasn't come for him statistically, that they'll be like, I don't want him to become a whipping boy. He's already down to 12 minutes a night, 4 games into the season. It's like, this is a guy you need. You need to develop chemistry and give it time to breathe while these guys figure themselves out in the system with the new coach.
If we want to kind of zoom in on the Michelli part of it, he was asked after the game about Michelli fitting in on the second line. So we can play that clip there, please. Clip 6, please, Derek.
Well, he's a playmaker, right? And he sees the ice well. And I think with Willie and JT, anytime we can get some pucks and make some plays to those guys, that's a good thing because they need the puck. They need the puck on the rush. They need the puck in the offensive zone. He sees the ice well. That's a big thing for me.
And by far the best goal we've seen scored either training camp or regular season was Tavares finishing off the goal that once again gave them the lead. That tic-tac-toe with with Oliver Ekman-Larsson with the give and go.
With
But
Nylander.
Michelli started that play, if I'm not mistaken, and that's the puck movement that you want to see out of these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there were some bright spots offensively. I'd argue that the Matthews, Cowan in the neutral zone is pretty nice too. So some better puck movement out of a lot of guys last night. Part of this offensive article I wrote is some things. There's like 5 things I think that kind of need to happen for this team to score goals at the rate of last year. One of them is McMahon not getting punted to the fourth line every time he is imperfect. Power play, did you like it any more last night?
Not really.
No, like Robertson ripped one off the inside of the post. They had a couple of scrambles. Oh, Riley missed the one. He shot it back through the crease the other way.
I actually think it was harder to miss than it was to shoot in the net.
For sure.
Like, it was harder to miss there, for sure.
Yeah.
Which, it would have been nice for them to get off the schneid with the power play there,
Yeah.
but they couldn't tap one. I'm sure Savvy would have been like, can you just shoot that in the net for me? But yeah.
But I do think that plan for scoring on the power play is going to be much more screens, tips, and rebounds than tick, 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 back door.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things we can talk about out of the game last night is the Cowan thing is because, like, how we talked about it being him getting asked about him not playing for those first couple games. And now that he's gone in to play, it's kind of turned to be a circus the other way, where he gets the belt after the game last night. He's doing the interview with Ryan Leslie after the game last night. Like, it's like happening.
But that's what
I know.
That's what Toronto does.
That's what I get.
What we do. Sportsnet, TSN, you name it.
I understand that.
All they
I
just
just
like
personally
suck the blood out of anything that they can.
yeah, those craven people at Sportsnet. We never do anything like that.
Always just tell it.
Yeah,
like it is.
I do worry about that. Where, like, he's had 2 really good games where it's like, I think he's been excellent in both the games he played in, set up a goal, his first career assist last night.
Yeah.
But does that make him now a bona fide number 1
No.
player on a contending team's line?
Yeah. You know what's funny is I have very strong memories, and this is not because I'm saying he's him, but when Nick Robertson played in playoffs against Columbus at 19 years old, 18 or 19.
It feels like he was 14 at that time. Thinking
I like did some screenshots of him like letting checks go and some stuff, and was like, maybe he's not quite ready. And people were like, what are you doing? This kid's off to a great start. He's a top prospect. You got to let him develop all this stuff. And it's like, okay, and maybe he'll get there, but maybe 5 years later, he'll be Nick Robertson, and they're still not sure if he's in the lineup. And so for Cowan, I also want to pump the brakes. Not that he's Robertson. He's better than Robertson. But I do think it's worth noting some miscues defensively, some, battles physically. It's just a process. That's all. And so be happy to have a guy who can make plays, who's probably not going to be there this year in the way you want him to be there, but he's great.
But there's no avoiding it because, it's almost like the perfect storm that they lose Marner, they don't replace him, and then he comes along, and everybody just wants to put him in a position now to run shotgun with Austin.
And
not everybody. The coach did that.
I know. Well,
not us.
He has no choice.
That's what I mean.
He has no choice.
But like Austin and Nyes kind of had rough first games. They did. Whatever. And
Quiet.
so they like turned it up. And they've had a couple really good outings. And Cowan has made some nice plays or whatever. But people are like, I mean, after the third game, Cowan's, when he's on the ice, shot attempts are 12-1 for the Leafs. It's not because of Cowan.
It's probably because the 2 huge guys who are flying out there.
The Hart Trophy and the other monster are pretty good too.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the coach on Cowan. Did we play this yet?
No, we have not.
We have 2 clips.
We have 2.
Good. I think
Oh, go ahead, sir. Clips.
Clip 5.
Clip 5.
Ruby on Cowan.
Yeah, clip 5.
Well, I think he really supports the puck well with those guys. It makes a lot of little plays that maybe go unnoticed, to a lot of people, but I notice it. And, he's a dog on a bone out there for me. He hounds everything, gets pucks back, strips people. He's played well. He played well again tonight, back-to-back nights. I wasn't sure, but I thought he had another good game, so it's good to see. And it seems like that line's forming some chemistry with him. He's a worker. Yeah. He's a worker. And, that worker with skill.
He's got an engine on him, and it's London Knights, man. It's Dale Hunter.
No, it's being a farm boy.
Come on.
What?
What?
Nothing. He's got to bring up the London Knights.
Oh, is this new Marner?
No, I don't know. I don't think
He's an engine. He drives the play.
He can.
New Marner just
Yeah.
and now he's just replaced him.
Yeah.
Can I remind you who won the championship?
I didn't know. I didn't check on that. Hey, you know who had the?
I guess one day I'm gonna. There's got to be an Owen Sound reference to a Leaf one day.
Yeah, Harry Nancy, 5th round pick. He's
Didn't
like
they draft a Sam McKee from
no,
Owen Sound?
Sam McHugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't play for them anymore.
Oh, that's too
But
bad.
well, and they had who's the kid they traded to Utah? Thursday.
Oh,
Thursday
yeah.
was a least pick too.
So the other thing I'll flip this on with the Cowan thing, because I just want to be, do the temper the expectations thing. The next thing is that I think it's easier to fit in as a skill rookie in 2025 than it is in 2005. I think the game is less physical, nasty, cheap, greasy. You can play. Lane Hudson can show up and be awesome. Young, smaller players can contribute when they're very good. And so I think Cowan has a chance to contribute.
But staying all season in a top line?
I think staying all season is much more viable after seeing what he's done the last 2 days.
See, it's not even close for me against what essentially is what you told me was a horrible team in Detroit,
Which I still think.
and
is
then
true.
I think
Nashville.
their D might be better than I
who's-
thought initially.
Like
Yeah.
it's just not enough of a sample size for me,
Mhm.
and it's going to be tough at times. He's gonna wear down. It's gonna catch up to him physically, emotionally. They've got to be able to move other people up there and hold water while he catches his breath. I don't see a scenario where this kid's just doesn't move off this line all season long.
No, I agree. But that happens with every line, right? And so this is kind of the idea with an 82-game season. No one really, they don't keep him the same for the whole year.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
going to be other
Except
looks
Sheldon
for him.
Keefe did.
Sheldon Keefe did by and large.
Yeah, except Sheldon Keefe, the top two lines. Can I
Now
ask
he's
you?
dishing lately.
Can I ask you about what we saw, sort of the physicality stuff against him? Like when you were playing, for example, if you saw a kid that looked like has there anyone ever looked younger than Easton Cowan? Maybe
Lane
I'm just-
Hudson.
I think Easton Cowan looks younger than Lane Hudson. He looks like the youngest man on earth.
Yeah, he's still physically,
he shave?
mentally,
No way.
emotionally, he's still immature.
So then that feels like a bit of a green light for, like last night, he was green light city. Like that Weisblatt nailed him into the post.
Okay,
What's his name?
can
Went
we
after
talk
him?
about that?
Sure.
What I hated last night
Mhm.
was that rat Ozzy on that Nashville team.
Ozzy Weisblatt?
Yeah,
Wise.
Weisblatt?
he throws your young, grade A prospect, your prized possession, your future into the net, and you do nothing about it. Tell me the difference between that play and Brad Marchand on Liljegren, where they did nothing in Boston. Tell me the difference.
I would argue that that's not nothing.
It's
in on
not
him.
something either.
I mean, it's not nothing. He
Don't
addressed
embarrass
him.
yourself.
I mean,
please.
listen, buddy, you're saying it's nothing.
Who?
Nothing was last year when Jack
As
Hughes
an
got
owl would say, who addressed it?
Tanev. I mean, listen, I'm not going to.
Tanev's 36, 38 years old. I don't know how old he is. He's closer to 40 than he is 30. That's your guy to go address that rat?
He's the closest guy.
Yeah, I think we know what. I think we know what we're getting at here.
Okay, so
I think we know what we're getting at here.
so in that
The team
instance,
doesn't? Is that what we're getting at?
no. I
in
think
that instance, okay, nothing happens. And the rest of the game, you don't say a word to this guy for throwing Cowan into the net and could have broke his neck. Not a word. Nobody says nothing to this guy.
Yeah.
Please,
I agree.
enlighten me.
I agree. No, I agree with you totally. But I don't think they did nothing. Like I think he went over there and he skated and he hit him into the glass. Wasn't great, but
Okay, then I don't
Wasn't
want
perfect.
Wasn't great. I want a response.
so you want
Yeah.
all the gloves to come flying off there?
I want
There's
something.
definitely
This
a
is-
level beyond
but-
what Tanev
sure.
did.
But this was supposed to change. This is part of the DNA change.
Totally
This is where
agree.
you get, you went out and got a bigger Nick Waugh. This is where you got Dakota.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dakota's out there 5 minutes later against him. You don't want to go and say anything to him?
The Leafs have
Wasn't this supposed to change a little bit?
the Leafs have a track record of getting the biggest guys who don't want to fight at all. It's like Justin Hall was giant. It's like he was never going to do that. It's just like a long Pierre Engvall monster. Never going to happen.
I don't think. Can
That
we
bothered me.
Can we run that? Can we run that play again?
Bothers me too.
The Wiesblatt play or Weisblatt play. I don't think did Nyes, because the one that I would love to see would be Nyes, because we've actually seen him chuck
McCabe's in
him.
there too.
But like I don't
And
think
Matthews.
I don't. Well,
Matthews is on the ice too.
yeah, but I mean, if we're gonna sit here and get bent out of shape about Austin Matthews not
How
responding
about Jake
physically,
McCabe grab him first?
if we're gonna sit here and have that conversation, we can have that conversation every day for the last 8 years. We all hate
And
it.
how have the results been the last 8 years?
Yeah, we know, Kipper, but it's
Okay.
just never gonna happen.
Okay, so we shouldn't talk about it, right? We
Sure,
should just not
or we
talk
can talk about it every day if you want. There's
No,
only
that's
two
not
ways.
an everyday.
It
That's
is.
not it. That's not every day.
But
That's not every day. That is your young grade A prospect getting thrown into the net. Okay, viciously, dirty play.
What I'm saying every day is, Kipper, we could have the conversation about him not being physical or seemingly angry or whatever. We could have had that conversation every single show for our whole time we've been doing this. I'm not talking about that specifically. Somebody should have jumped in there. I'm just saying that I don't think Nyes saw it happen. He had his back to the play. He was turning up the other way, which is another conversation. But that's the guy I would love to see get in there. Because
Well,
that's the guy we've actually seen.
Why can't Chris Tanev?
Well, he did. He just didn't drop his gloves.
No, Chris is,
Didn't even look at
I
him.
don't want Chris doing that.
You don't,
okay?
but you want Austin Matthews to.
No, I want somebody to say something to this guy. Get a glove in his face. You don't have to fight him. You can punch him in the head. You can cause that
Yeah.
big pile
Listen,
up.
I am with you on this.
I'm just
Me too.
I just thought that part was supposed to change a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all. And it's not even that moment, Sam. It's the rest of the game as if nothing happened.
Well, and also, did Philip Forsberg grease someone?
Yeah, he did.
Was it Cowan again?
It was Cowan, got him hard, and then Matthews came in a little bit and kind
Like
of
the
pushed him
one thing
against
that
the boards.
is disappointing for their start, it just seems like there's not that much emotion, or they just look like guys going to work.
Yeah. I think it's a fair criticism in that this has been the team's, a lot of people have argued their shortcoming. They're now as big as you can possibly be in the NHL, and it's still not, they talk about the DNA. The DNA is not actually different, because Joshua is similar. Big doesn't actually want to do it. Waugh doesn't want to do it.
Can I ask you, is it opponent dependent in terms of some of these games? Like when we see them against a team that likes to play more like that, potentially a Bruins,
Let me tell you the way
potentially
it works,
or
Sammy.
Panthers,
I'll tell you the way it works, okay? When you go after a guy like Ozzy, what's his name?
Weisblatt.
Ozzy Weisblatt.
Weisblatt.
Mhm.
Okay. You send a message, but you're also sending a message to the rest of the league. This guy is not to be thrown into the net and potentially breaking his neck.
Mhm.
Okay? You don't get a freebie on our prize rookie.
Agree.
And it's not for Nashville. It's for anyone else that's watching that night. And you assume everybody's watching. That's the way you send a message. So it's not opponent dependent.
Okay.
It's every opponent watching going, not on my watch. Like, I'm just telling you that I would rather be suspended 2 games than to finish that game without saying a word to that kid. I'll take a suspension. I've been fined $25,000, $40,000 in the mid-90s, and it's the best $40,000 I ever spent, because it told my teammates and it told the management and the coaches that I at least when I'm on there, I'm going to try to do something about it.
So, quick game here. We're going to go through the roster, and we're going to talk about who can do it, who should do it, who wants to do it, okay? Top line, you have Cowan, Matthews, Nyes. Anyone you
Nyes
want to
should
mention
do
there?
Nice could do it.
Nyes can.
Nyes can do it.
Should he?
When why not? Why
Okay.
not? Why?
Well,
like,
just
why
because you
not?
don't want a guy with concussions getting
you
punched in the
you
head.
Can pick, but does that mean never? He's never
No,
going to do it?
No, it doesn't. But
So
it also doesn't mean
if
he's
you-
going to do it.
If you're,
10 times.
You may only have to do it twice a year, 3 times a year. Pick your spot.
Yep.
That would have been a good spot.
Machelli, Tavares, Nylander. No. Next line, Robertson, Domi, McMahon.
Max could do it. Max probably would have done it. Probably would have
Max would have done something.
Max,
for sure.
100%.
He's one of the only guys. He
Max
definitely would have done something.
Definitely would have done something.
Yes.
Bobby McMahon
Yes.
doesn't want to do it, can do it,
Yes.
probably should do it.
I'd like to see him. I'd like to see more of it.
Yarncroc, Waugh, Joshua.
2 out of 3. I'll go with Waugh and Joshua.
On the back end, Carlo Riley. Carlo?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
But you want him to.
Yeah,
He's a
but-
defensive
but
D,
it,
man.
it wouldn't hurt.
But he won't.
Tanev, McCabe.
Not Tanev.
McCabe.
I don't know. I don't get why not Tanev. I know he's not a physical guy.
Yeah,
but
he's
like,
just listen. Tanev is arguably one of their best players last year. To me, he already looks a little worn down, tired. I don't know.
Yeah.
See the goal that they tied the game up where he
Yeah.
lost the battle? That never happens.
Benoit,
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Benoit, Ekman Larson.
Both.
Benoit.
Benoit.
Yeah.
Ekman Larson's greasy.
Yeah.
So going through the whole team,
Yeah.
we just came up with Benoit, McCabe, Joshua, Waugh, Nyes.
Yeah.
Okay, like Joshua Dakota, he plays 10, 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to see him get on the board with an assist.
Like, where's his identity? What is
That's
it? Where
the question.
is his
What does
identity?
he think his identity
For
is?
10, 11 minutes, what are you trying to do in 10 or 11 minutes? Kill a penalty, score a goal, like what?
Well, he's getting paid $3.25 million, and guys who hit and fight and play 10 minutes don't make that. They make $750. So he thinks and is probably told that he's going to be a point producer, player.
Not at 10, 11 minutes.
Not a 10, 11 minutes. No, definitely not. But
Right.
so maybe
So-
the coach has his ice time wrong, or maybe
If we-
not the best pickup.
Listen, I am the first one to say I was so wrong on Max Pacioretty last year. I thought that guy was coming here, soak up the media, the attention, being a Leaf, and then going to fade off. I tipped my hat to Max Pacioretty because when I watched him play, whatever he could give, he could give. When that guy hit, he hurt people last year.
Buddy,
Okay.
he was
Jack Hughes.
It blew my mind to watch Max Pacioretty hit to hurt.
I'm surprised he's not in the league. You watched him
Okay.
in playoffs last year. Scores a big goal, trucked a bunch of guys.
Works for
Like-
U of M now, Michigan.
That's
Body just
I
Didn't want to do it.
Michigan?
Yep.
I'd like to see Max back hitting like that again, but they chose not to. They went younger. I get it, but Dakota can't hit like that. Can he? Or if he can, he just hasn't shown us yet.
He's 29 years old. It's not coming now. Like he is. I
So-
think they thought he could play more
So,
minutes.
like, it's that physicality is just not there for this big team right now.
Sammy Blais?
I don't see like heavy kind of leaning in towards guys.
Mhm.
That to me, like Joshua's got to get going here.
Mhm. Like they're a very strong team. Like I mean, Matthews is a strong guy on the puck, winning pucks in corners. Same with Tavares. These guys they have a lot of these guys that are strong
Yeah.
players. But to your point, they're not aggressive players.
Yeah.
The sort of final thought on that is what I was getting at with Cowan is watching him get bounced around by, checks my notes here, the Nashville Predators last night.
Mhm.
You're going to get into games where you're playing bigger and tougher and better opponents where they're going to be taking way more runs at him and they're going to need to protect him a bit. And it's going to fall on the D-core who's out there and it's going to fall on Nyes because like we could say Matthews, he'll skate over there, but he's just not going to get the gloves off and punch. Like I don't think that's ever going to happen. But Nyes can do it. They're going to have to protect him if he's playing on that top line. He's going to play against good players who are hitting him and leaning on him, and they were doing it last night. So it's going to be a little old school protector situation.
And
Bring me
I mean,
Pizzetta. I'm so disappointed
not-
Pizzetta's camp.
He plays on the fourth line of the Marlies.
listen, it's 4 games. Here's what I truly feel, that it may take 15 or 20 games for this team to find itself.
Totally. I totally agree
Not
that it's not
4,
sure.
Not 6.
Yeah.
Not 8.
A quarter
But
of the season.
we may have to go into Thanksgiving to really see this team and where they think their strengths
Yeah.
are.
You know why I was so disappointed in the way that Detroit game ended and they tied it up at 2-2 is when you come back in games early in the season, you get a win or you just get good energy out of that. It's like, okay, we're building something as a team. We're finding our way. We're piecing it together. That was such a disappointing outcome because I do think that there's going to be some time to be like, okay, we're not what we used to be. We are now a team that relies on depth, no team A, team B. We're going to be this whole cohesive thing. And they don't know how to do that yet. And now they were great against Nashville. This is not criticism of that game, but I do think that it looks very disjointed still and that there's going to be some process to getting to what they're going to be.
Rangers Thursday, Kraken Saturday, I believe.
See, the Rangers haven't scored a goal yet.
Well,
So
at home. They've scored on the road, but not at home.
Yeah, listen, they're coming in foaming
Mad.
right now.
Mad.
Oh, here's my other thing. The Leafs should be as good a defensive team as the league has. That sixth veteran D, that none of them are a bunch of old dogs. They should be as good a D-core defensively as exists.
Okay, yes, but I think part of the problem is they lack like 2025 mobility.
They don't snap it.
They don't move. They can do straight lines.
So you've got them as not tough and immobile.
They can block shots.
Yeah.
I just don't have that same type of mobility.
Even the veterans on this team, though, have been through playoff series. Now, make all the jokes you want. They've played 9 straight years in the postseason, multiple rounds twice. Like, they should have some idea how to defend. So while they're sorting everything else out, this team should be good defensively. I give them 0 passes defensively.
How's Carlo been for you to start the year?
Not enough.
And I don't see it early with Morgan, which is a bit of concern because we've had a lot of conversations over the last few years about Morgan and a partner.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help but think about what they traded for him. And I don't think that helps his perception amongst Leaf fans. That you worry about that.
I don't know, Sam, if you have Fraser Minton
I know,
now and you have Benoit Myers.
What I'm saying is, for sure, I totally agree.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that his style of play isn't one where you're seeing returns on investment. Where it's not like, oh, wow, his production's unbelievable.
Sure, yeah.
Like, oh, wow, what a breakout pass. It's like, he's denying entries and getting in lanes. It's like, oh, great.
Disruptions.
Can't wait to watch that highlight tape later.
Right.
Just I don't we briefly talked about Primo in that last night, but we didn't get a Berube comment, did we?
We can play it.
All right.
On
Caden.
clip 2, please. Berube, clip 2.
Got his first win here. Congrats to him, and he did what he had to do to get the job done.
Didn't sound
All
too
right.
thrilled.
Not overly.
Here's what I would say about Caden Primo. One of the goalies of all time.
He is a goalie.
One of the goalies of all time.
Hold on. So you could just say that time.
That's what I know about
but, like, is he sticking around here? Do you, is it next man up? I didn't know whether or not they felt like he was ready to start yesterday. I actually thought that I wouldn't have been shocked if I saw Hildeby in that.
You got to get him going at some point and let him lose a match before we cut him here. I'd like to see him get a few games.
He's a backup goalie. Look like a guy that starts in the second half of back-to-back.
Should this be a bigger concern for everybody that like Joseph Wall's still nowhere to be found and no light right now at the end of that tunnel? So
yeah, those are separate conversations for me. Like, can Primo be a backup goalie for the Leafs? I think so. I think he's better than he played last night. I do believe in Primo. The Joseph Woll thing, last night it occurred to me while I was watching the game. I was like, it's strange they haven't provided an update.
No.
Like,
what was that? Well, maybe 2 weeks ago or a week ago where Trillian's like, we don't know, but it's progressing well.
What's progressing well?
Correct. But I think you're kind of at the point here.
I want him to be more aggressive, by the way. I want him to push out of his net harder.
Way to go there, Valley. You brought that break.
Well, but a couple times he just sits back deep and relies on his size, and you want to see him challenge more.
You just got to find a way to accumulate points when Anthony Stolarz isn't in the net, and they got 2 points for the first time without him in the net. And I think you're just kind of.
Does Valley say you need 20 or something like that?
It's kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You got 2 out of the way. We should break so we can get to Luke, and then we'll do game time after.
all right, after the break, we'll welcome in our very own SportsNet.ca Luke Fox.
As a reminder,
this
this
hour,
hour,
Real
we
Kyper
return
Bourne
to
brought
Real
to you by
Kyper and Bourne.
Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. In a few minutes, we'll welcome in Luke Fox, Leaf and NHL writer for SportsNet.ca. No, we're going to welcome him now. Now.
Jays.
Luke, all in on the Blue Jays tonight with his cap. For those of you that cannot see him on Zoom, how are you, Luke?
I'm doing well. Excited for a day off. Excited for the Jays to come back in this series.
Yeah.
What do you think? Let's be honest here. You know,
Like our odds?
a split. Okay, like worst case scenario, a split, or there's three.
They need to take two. If they take
Two or three,
it gives us life. I don't know. I think the Mariners are a better team, but sports, anything can happen. You gotta hope.
It's all you can do.
All right.
Yeah.
Sammy called it a must-win last night against Nashville. Game 4.
Game 4?
Game 4 must win. The boys came through. At times it wasn't the prettiest, but what did you get out of last night?
Yeah, I think there's positives there for sure. I think one of the things I got out of it is the Nashville Predators aren't very good, guys. And I don't think any of the teams involved in the 4 games I've watched live here, the Leafs, the Red Wings, the Habs, the Preds, no one's really impressed. So hopefully that's just early season, guys figuring out chemistry with new line mates. Goalies getting in the groove, but the level of hockey hasn't been there. And maybe that's partly me, because the last hockey I watched was the Stanley Cup final, and it really feels like it's just a continuation of preseason so far. But my main opinion through these 3 games with the Leafs is they got to rack up points. They have a really soft schedule in terms of a bunch of non-playoff teams that they got in October and early November. They got a bunch of home games. I know that they're still figuring stuff out. Every line almost seems to be in flux, but this is a veteran group. You have home ice advantage. Start stacking points, because I think they're going to be harder to come by down the road.
Luke, it's funny. We just did the first half hour of the show, and I don't know that we hit on this directly. And then I wrote an article today, and I don't know if I hit on it directly. We haven't really talked about the best players on the team, and the team's only going to go as Matthews goes, as Nylander goes, as Tavares goes. What are your thoughts on the first 4 games out of the team's most important players?
Well, I thought William Nylander and Austin Matthews both had their best game last night, which is a positive sign. I think Nylander in particular got off to a slow start. I think Tavares has gotten off to a slow start. Matthews seems to be ramping up, which is good. The shot looks there. When you mention those guys, it's hard not to think about the power play, which is 0 for 8 and lacks cohesion. And you wonder if that's just a lack of urgency, because they're going to get a minute 45, or if it's a personnel thing and they need to make an adjustment. But I think it's at least trending in the right direction. The good news is, they got some cookies. So Matthews and Nylander have 5 goals combined. 4 of them are into an empty net, which is crazy to say, that they've only beaten 1 goalie. And Matthews, the time he beat the goalie was basically a tap-in from Matthew Nyes last night.
That's technically an empty net goal.
Yeah. So we haven't seen them look really dangerous, but at least when they look at their score sheet, they see some numbers. They're probably feeling a little bit good about themselves, and hopefully they can get going.
Just on that point, and it's great, on a stat sheet, you see Matthews with 3 goals in 4 games. It looks good. It feels like it's right up there with a guy that can threaten to score 50 or 60 goals. But, how far off is he from looking like the shooter that he was when he was scoring 50 and 60 goals? Because a couple of opportunities where, in his prime, he could beat goalies from 20, 30 feet out. And we haven't seen that look yet. He has yet to still beat a goalie clean with that amazing shot of his. How close is he to you to getting back to that guy?
He's closer than he was last year, but I agree with you, Nick. We're not 69 goals Matthews dangerous yet. We're not Rocket Richard winner Matthews yet. Now, there were some flashes. He pinged a crossbar in Detroit where I thought he was going to break the iron, and it was from distance, and it wasn't the one-timer. It was the, the snapper, wrister release that he's known for. And he's had a couple other shots like that, come close. His aim seems to be a little off. He's not getting as much open space as he did with Mitch Marner. And you think maybe with time, hopefully he's going to get more looks, but he looks a lot better than last year. But is he back to Rocket Richard Matthews that we've seen at his peak? Not yet.
No, still strides to go, but certainly encouraging as far as that goes. And so what are your thoughts on how long Easton Cowan is going to get to hold down that spot? I know everyone's asking about him, and we talked about him. Have you felt anything differently than us, which was basically just that made some good small area plays, and they kind of don't have a ton of options?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit by default, right? It's kind of interesting the fact that Domi or Michelli didn't get a longer trial run up there, but in the 2 games that Easton Cowan's been up there, he has looked like the best fit available. Does that mean he's a top 6 NHLer or a top line NHLer? No, let's not jump to conclusions. But of the guys that have gotten a look, that Matthew Nyes and Austin Matthews have had their best games beside him. The kid has made some plays. He has earned the coach's trust, and he has a motor on him. The first test was playing back-to-back days. He passed that with flying colors. I want to wait and see this team play a contender and then see how he looks before I make any judgments. And, in the meantime, they have some injuries. Steven Lorentz could come back Thursday, but Scott Lawton isn't close. So, give the kid some runway. And then the first real decision you have to make is after he plays 9 games.
You're watching and listening to Luke Fox from Sportsnet.ca and our Leaf Edition hour. Justin just asked you about the Leafs' top players up front, the back end. Certainly a veteran squad that the attention to detail was pretty darn good last year. Where do you see them this year? Tanev gave up a play behind the net that led to the 2-2 goal, which I can't recall ever seeing him lose a battle like that. It's a one-off. I get all of that. But overall, where do you see this blue line, and where do you see a pairing, say, like Morgan Riley and Carlo?
They've struggled in their own end, I think, Nick, Riley and Carlo. I think they have another level to get to. I think there's signs of encouragement. The fact that Berube has asked these guys specifically to jump up in the rush more than they did last year. I think when the coach first came in, he really prioritized defense, safety, holding on to leads. Then Mitch Marner walks out the door and they realize we got to supplant some of this offense from the back end. Hopefully Bobby McMahon gets to 20 goals again. Hopefully Kelly Yarncroc can get 15 or 20. But that still won't be enough. We were one of the worst teams at generating goals from the back end. So he's encouraged Riley to jump up in the play. I think last night, Oliver Ekman-Larsson had his best game of the 4 without question. He ends up with 3 points, shows some flashes. McCabe gets a goal. I'm putting that one on the Predators' backup. But at least these guys are contributing to the offense. And I think they're still maybe figuring out that balance. And one thing they can do, Nick, is block shots. They gave Caden Primo a chance to win that game because they blocked 20 shots. Primo was not great. Let's be honest. But the defense protected him pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the cool things about being a beat reporter is just without asking questions, taking the temperature of the team, feeling the dynamic. You're in the room, you're around the guys. Does this year with a new DNA? Yes.
I was just going to say, cool and beat reporter don't go together.
Oh, is that right? Okay. It used to. These guys used to crush beers with the guys after games.
Just kidding, Luke.
How does it feel this year compared to last year and previous years?
It feels more relaxed.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, there's a calmness. Keith Pelly came out at the it was at the press conference after he had fired Shanahan, and he made some comments about the team needs to rebuild the connection with the media and with the fans. And basically rebuilding with the fans is partially through media and through access. Mm-hmm. and the access has widened. If I ask for a one-on-one with a guy during training camp, 10 times out of 10, or 9 times out of 10, I'd say I would get it.
Awesome.
The guys feel a little bit more relaxed. There's more after a morning skate, just sitting in the stall, willing to shoot the breeze with you. So I would say the mood is very much relaxed. There hasn't been panic, and I almost wonder if they need to be a little bit less relaxed in terms of, their level of play. On the bright side, there have been comments. I'll say Stolars, Nyes, and Morgan Riley have come out and said, we haven't really been good enough, and kind of really underscored that they need to be better. So at least they're recognizing that. The other thing I would say about the reporting thing is it was interesting to hear Domi and Austin Matthews voluntarily owned that they took bad penalties. And I don't remember that happening a lot in the past 2 years. So I don't know if they've been told, hey, you got to take a little bit more responsibility when the camera's on you, or if they just feel like they need to. Either way, I think it's a good sign.
Look, great stuff as always, man. Enjoy the ball game. Enjoy your night off, and we'll catch up to you again real soon.
All right, go Jays. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks, Luke.
Sportsnet.ca's Luke Fox.
Hey, tell me a little bit about when you were a player and the relationship with reporters. Because, I know in my dad's day when they were playing, legitimately cooler in the room, reporters sitting there having beer as you're talking to the guys. They'd come out after. So they would, have your back sometimes. But at the same time, they could actually report on the temperature of how guys were feeling.
Well, everybody had, if there was, half a dozen guys in there covering your team, you can go down the room and you could get a different answer on who you liked as a reporter.
Yeah, for someone to your taste.
Everybody has different relationships with different guys.
Yeah.
And some you learn more about them as the season progresses, and then you have a comfort zone or you have an antenna up. And everybody can have a different opinion of any particular writer, but their job's to get you to say stuff. That's their job. And of course, it's easier now because the Leafs are more open. We've seen that. There's proof of it. Luke just mentioned it. And then there's a trust factor that what I say will go on record or not on record. And it only takes one guy to burn one guy once, and then it's over.
That was the big thing that I'm always told, was that there used to be true, this is on the record, this is off the record.
Yeah.
You could have those conversations.
Yeah. I
think it exists. But I don't know that players trust that it exists and will be honored in the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just who you're comfortable with and who you trust. So sometimes you can pick things up and, there's a gray area. Was that on the record, off the record? I think it's important for a writer to say, hey, listen, I'm going to print this before I print it. Give a guy a chance to...
A critique or something, yeah?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's, again, a gray area. Did you mean to be on record on it or did you not?
Right. Yeah.
So, but interesting times for sure. And now there's the internet too. So
fan lists.
That's changed a little bit.
That changed the whole dynamics of everything.
It's game time. Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. It's 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. So 2 things I'm looking at for tonight. Like I said before, Ottawa in Buffalo tonight on Wednesday night hockey. It's been pretty painful for Buffalo Sabres fans, and they're actually favored tonight. So betting on the Buffalo Sabres at 0-3 as a favorite is probably...
They are?
Yeah. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the other way for extreme pain. Give me a Dylan Cousins goal tonight for the Buffalo Sabres.
God, that's so obvious.
For the Ottawa Senators against the Buffalo Sabres at plus 240. So a little bit of revenge there. Sorry, Buffalo, but when it goes bad, it goes really bad, and I can see that happening tonight. And the Jays and Mariners tonight, big game. I'm getting progressively more nervous as the day moves along here. The Jays are plus 110 underdogs against the Seattle Mariners. Mariners minus 130 on the money line. Honestly, not an awful spot for a happiness hedge tonight. The season really comes down to this.
Can I read you the Ben Nicholson-Smith latest
Yes.
tweet? It's why this game matters so much tonight. Teams that take a 3-0 lead in a best-of-7 series have gone on to win 97.6% of the time. However, teams that trail 2-1 after 3 games in a 7-game series have gone on to win 30% of the time.
30?
And they got home field at
Well-
the end of the series,
Listen, put it this way. If you go down, if you lose tonight and you go down 3-0 and then you come back and win, there'll be 78 documentaries about it like there is about the Boston Red
Totally.
Sox. So hey, can we come up with a different idea for we know. We've seen every version of it. There's 100.
You got to set the stage for the comeback.
God. Anyways, so yeah,
Just get to 2-1.
just if
Get
you
to 2-1.
listen, even if you get to 2-1 night, go to 3-1, it still feels different than it was if you're down 3-0. So win tonight, see what happens. Go Jays, go. That was Game Time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Okay.
All right.
So tonight.
So just to pick up a little bit on Luke talking about the blue line. Did you end up watching Prime Amazon?
No shot.
No shot?
Not even the
I gave you
Leafs
homework.
episode?
I
gave you homework.
Yeah.
Can I be totally honest with you?
Yeah. It's too painful for you?
I turned it on. I'm like, I spend all day talking about this. I talk about this every day. I think about this every day. I got 1 second into it. I'm like, I turned it off. I'm like, I'm not doing this. For sure.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's less painful.
It was
for you
actually a
guys.
great refresher to be like, oh, God, they were up 3-1 game
Oh,
3
yeah.
and up 2-0 in the series.
Thank you for validating my point, good sir.
Well, and a lot of it is like, man, they
You know what
by
I
the way,
got
they're
out of it?
down in the series. They win game 6
Listen,
in Florida.
No. Forget that.
Their most
Yeah,
impressive
listen. Yeah.
performance in the Matthews era.
Okay.
No question.
Okay, so they get humiliated ultimately in game 5 or game 7.
Oh, yeah.
But
Spoiler
watching
alert.
it reminded me that when Max Domi scored, there were in game 7, there was 18 minutes to go, and they were down 3-1.
And that place erupted.
And it erupted.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering now
And
if
then?
Berube would have taken Joseph Wall out and put Stolars back in, what difference it would have made.
Was Stolarz the backup then?
Yes, he was.
He was available as the backup?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm almost positive.
But I thought he was concussed. Why wouldn't he have been starting if he was
No, he backed up.
He did?
He was cleared to back up.
Yeah.
See, this is I trauma blocked this. I don't really remember.
On the block.
I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
Joseph Wall gave up the 4th goal,
Muffin.
short side
Yeah.
to
But it-
Luosterainen. I'm just,
Yeah.
that's what I got out of,
It just,
that's what I got out of Amazon.
but you know what it is a fresh reminder, or it was a fresh reminder of, is how the Leafs find new and creative ways to hurt their fans. Because game 6 was like, this was a team that faced adversity, went into the defending cup champion's house with the chance to be eliminated, and won. And it was like, this is the year that they figured it out.
Unbelievable performance by them. What did the Panthers have in that game? 14 shots?
And they
just shut
in
it
game
down.
7 at home, Florida outshot attempted them 25-0 before the Leafs got an attempt on net.
And if you'll remember correctly, Mitch Marner set up Austin Matthews for the game-winning goal in game 6. And we're like, they flipped the school. It's happened. And then they come home. Bang! Bang!
Tarnasky.
Don't read into anything
So
like
you
that.
watch any meaningful game in darkness
Oh,
in your basement, but
tonight
you
is-
won't watch Amazon.
I watched the murder
Prime.
documentary and said it was much more uplifting. Dark basement night tonight. Go Jays, go. Yeah.
There you go. Get chewing your towels,
We're
fans.
back. Get your popcorn ready. Game 3 ALCS on Sportsnet. Everything starts, what, Sammy? 6:30?
7, I think, yeah. But we got Blair and Barker coming in now.
Oh,
Fan
my
free
gosh.
game.
No
we got it all
reason
over.
to turn the dial. It's all Sportsnet all the time. Our thanks to Renaud Lavoie from TVA and our very own Luke Fox. Go Jays, go. That's
Go
all I
Jays,
can say.
go.
Come on. Keep her going, boys.
Bieber time, baby.
Have a great night, everybody.
Baby.